Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make a non-toxic 2-ingredient leave-in curl cream. I made some using 2 different methods. I call this the boiling method and then the overnight fridge method. I'm going to show you both of them. Flaxseed gel has absolutely changed my life in terms of my curly hair. I initially started making it because I found that conventional typical curly hair products were way too thick and they were weighing my curls down. So my curls were all flat at the roots and then there wasn't really much definition in my ends. I also found that they were way too expensive compared to like regular hair products. And I also found that they smell too strong. They're usually scented with like coconut, tropical island, pina colada kind of smell, and I never liked that. It's full of synthetic fragrance. I think it smells way too strong until one day I discovered that you can make your own leave-in curl gel, or I just call it leave-in curl cream, using flax seeds and water. Flaxseed gel is the only product that I use in my curls. You only need 2 ingredients to make it, flax seeds and water, and the boiling method only takes 5 minutes to make, and then the overnight fridge method takes 5 minutes to make on one day, and then 5 minutes to make the following day. So it's really quick. I want to show you the consistency of it. This is so moisturizing for my curls. Like I said, it makes my curls really defined. Like you can see here, they maintain all of their volume. They look nice and healthy. And also, if you have thicker, wavy, or curly hair, since flaxseed gel is really lightweight, your hair takes a significantly lower amount of time to air dry versus using a thicker, conventional curly hair products. Flaxseed gel is also completely odorless, so you can customize it if you want. You can add a few drops of essential oil to give it a slight little scent. You're gonna hear me say this so many times in the video, but you have to store flaxseed gel in your fridge. Otherwise, if you leave it on your counter in the bathroom, it will go bad in 2 to 3 days. It does not work. Okay, so starting off, I'm gonna add 1/2 cup of whole flax seeds to my pot, along with 2 cups of water. I'm gonna turn it on medium to high heat and wait for it to come to a boil. At this point, you gotta watch it really closely because number 1, you don't want this to overflow, and number 2, it should only boil for 2 to 4 minutes, not any longer. Otherwise, it will become too thick and you won't be able to strain it. So right now, I can tell it's still a little bit too watery and it hasn't boiled yet, so I'm gonna leave it on a little longer. It just started to boil and I want to show you when I mix it and then lift my spoon up. See how it's starting to thicken up? That's exactly what I want. I'll show you again. You can see on my spoon, it's become quite jelly when the water falls off. Yep, that's what I'm looking for. It's ready to strain. And like I just explained, this is the part where you want to act fast, otherwise it's going to become way too thick to strain. I'm going to go bit by bit. And I repeat the same thing until I've strained everything. See how that's already thickened up just by waiting? This is exactly the consistency I'm looking for. One last time with the rest. I think this is already way too thick. I won't be able to strain this last part. Yep, I won't be able to strain this last part. This is why you gotta act fast. This is exactly the consistency that I want. It's a little bit watery, but very jelly. And right now it's boiling hot, so I'm gonna let it cool down and it'll thicken up again. Perfect. I'm gonna pour it into my container. This is really slimy. And that's it, I'm done. And there we go, just like that, I have my flaxseed gel. This took 5 minutes to make, which I wanna say is the biggest pro of the boiling method, is that if you need a leave-in curl cream right now, if you need flaxseed gel, just make this and in 5 minutes it's done, it's ready, and you can put it in your hair. I do want to say that another pro is it typically lasts longer in the fridge than the overnight fridge method because we are heating up the flax seeds and we're boiling them. I think it's breaking down some of their like chemical structure or whatever, so it normally lasts longer without it starting to smell bad. I find that I can keep this for 4 to 6 weeks in the fridge, whereas the boiling method, it's like 3 to 4 weeks. And like I explained in the beginning of the video, you always want to store flaxseed gel in the fridge no matter what. That's how you preserve it. That's how you make it last a really long time. But with the boiling method, let's say you're traveling and your flaxseed gel will be in a backpack or a suitcase for a certain number of hours before going back into the fridge. I find that with the boiling method, there's less chances of it going bad versus the overnight fridge method. Again, because we're boiling the flax seeds, I think we're switching up the chemical structure. I don't know, it's more resistant to going bad and to smelling bad. And that's it for the boiling method. Now I'm going to show you the overnight fridge method. The second method to making flaxseed gel, I call the overnight fridge method. So I'm going to mix flax seeds and water, let it sit in my fridge overnight, and then tomorrow I'll strain it. The main pro of using this method is we're not heating the flax seeds, so they actually maintain all of their fatty acids, so they maintain all their moisturizing properties for our hair. I'm gonna take half a cup of whole flax seeds and add them to my mason jar. I have 2 cups of water in here. I'm gonna add it to my mason jar. Screw the lid on, shake it well so everything mixes together. And I'm gonna let it sit in my fridge until tomorrow morning. That's honestly the main downside of using this method is you won't have the flaxseed gel right away to use. You do have to wait, like it's a 2-day process, so you have to wait the night. And the second downside to using this is I find that it typically doesn't last as long in the fridge, like the actual flaxseed gel, it does not last as long in the fridge as the boiling method will do because we're not heating the flaxseed. So you weigh pros and cons and decide which method you want to use. And this is gonna go in here and I'll strain it tomorrow. It's the following day. My flax seeds have been in the fridge for 24 hours and now it's time to strain it. There's a couple different ways you can strain the mixture. So either you can use a regular strainer. I don't think this works that well because you can't really apply much pressure. Or you can use a cheesecloth. Or if you don't have that, like me, this may be a little weird, but I use a sock and a mason jar, and this actually works really well. I know it kind of seems weird, but I'll show you. So I put my clean sock, by the way, on top of my mason jar. And then I do this in 2 separate times. I'm going to mix it first just to make it easier to strain. This is really thick. I mix it first to make it easier to strain, and then I'm going to do it in 2 different times. And then as simple as this, kind of squeeze all of the flaxseed gel out. My container is a little small. And round 2, I emptied the inside of the sock into a plate. I'll show you afterwards. And then I strain. And as easy as that, I have my homemade flaxseed gel. I like to store it in this, but you can totally put it in a pump bottle if that's easier. And I often get asked, what do I do with the leftover flax seeds? So as you can tell, they're really like jellied and mushy together. I like to put it into granola, or you can make like a homemade seed bread. That would also be really good, but there's different ways you can use it in food. Granola is my favorite. This flaxseed gel turned out a little bit runnier than I typically liked it to be. I think I used a little bit too much water, but this would still work for my hair. If you do have thicker hair though, or longer hair, I would use less water and a little more flax seeds. That's gonna make it much thicker, but it still has a jelly consistency. Perfect. This is really moisturizing for my hair. Sorry if this is a jump scare, but this is my hair before I shower it detangled. I had it in a braid, that's why it's already detangled. I always like doing a scalp serum before I shampoo. So right now I'm using this castor oil with rosemary oil from Sky Organics, but you can just use plain castor oil. You can also infuse your castor oil with rosemary yourself. That's probably what I'm gonna do. When this one is empty, there's not much left. And I apply it all over my scalp. I find this truly makes a difference, A, for hair growth, because I'm gonna be massaging my scalp and stimulating blood circulation to the hair follicle. And B, it also makes a difference in terms of the dandruff that I get. I feel like other people with curly or wavy hair may relate, but my hair is definitely on the drier side, and so is my scalp. And so it tends to get a little bit itchier and like flakes of skin will come off, which is kind of gross. But by doing a scalp serum, my scalp is more moisturized throughout the week and I don't get any dandruff. Don't forget the bottom of your head as well. Okay, now I'm gonna massage this in with my fingers. Then taking my comb, my hair is already detangled. I'm going to brush through my hair, and this is gonna allow to spread the products all throughout my hair. It also, again, stimulates blood circulation to my hair follicle. A general misconception about hair that I see a lot on social media that hair care brands take advantage of is that your hair health depends on what product you're using, and I completely disagree. I think that your hair health comes from the inside, so what you're eating and your stress levels, and if you're deficient in any vitamins and minerals, are all key players in your hair health. Obviously, genetics, mostly in terms of hair graying, is also important, but I find it kind of sad that certain brands will sell to us that if you use their split end miracle oil thing, your hair is magically going to be super shiny and all healthy again, which that's not really true. It comes from the inside, and it also comes from your scalp. I naturally have very dry hair, and if I were only to address my split ends and my dead ends, then my hair would never get any better. It's mostly through my diet, my sleep, my stress management, doing these scalp serums, massaging my scalp regularly. All of those have a much better impact. Now that the product is evenly distributed all over my scalp, I'm gonna put my hair in a bun and I'm gonna let the scalp serum sit for, I wanna say 2 to 3 hours. Also, combing or brushing your hair with the scalp serum in prevents it from leaking all over your face. I don't know if I'm the only one who has experienced this, but sometimes I would apply scalp serum and it would sort of leak down the sides of my face, but combing and brushing it all throughout my hair so it's all evenly distributed prevents that. It's in a bun right now. I'll see you in a few hours. Hello. It's 2 to 3 hours later. I'm getting ready to shower. I'm gonna shampoo and condition. I'm gonna show you what products I use in the shower. So I either do two things. Either I use a solid shampoo bar that I get from the local farmer's market and I make my own conditioner with half apple cider vinegar and half water. Both work really well. Or I use a natural shampoo and conditioner from the brand Vita Prima. They're beef tallow based. They work amazing. They're extremely moisturizing for my hair. I think I'm gonna use these today. And that's all I do. It's super simple and all natural. Just got out of the shower. My hair is completely damp. That's exactly how I want it when I apply flaxseed gel. I section it into 3 different parts. So I have the top part and then these 2 down here. I take a little bit of the flaxseed gel into my hands and I'm gonna rake the product through. I want it to be evenly distributed all throughout the lengths of my hair. Taking a tiny bit more in my fingers. This step is extremely important if you want defined curls, and it is to scrunch. You want it to make that exact sound. This will not work if your hair is not completely wet. I'm gonna repeat the same thing on the other side. Whenever I've posted this flaxseed gel recipe in the past on my Instagram or TikTok, most of the people in the comments and in my DMs are really happy with the flaxseed gel. It works amazing for their curls and for their waves. But for the people who tried it and didn't really like it, the main concern is that their hair is too cardboard feel once it dries. Like the curls are too hard and crunchy. And my biggest piece of advice when using flaxseed gel is to start slow. You gotta work your way up. Everyone has different thickness of hair, different volume, different lengths. Like everyone is gonna need a different amount of flaxseed gel for their hair. So just start by applying a little bit, and if it's too frizzy, well then the next time you can add a little more. I personally really like when there's kind of a cast once my curls dry because I like breaking that cast with a little bit of oil. I find that it makes the curls even more defined. But just remember that it is a gel product, so it is gonna feel like gel once it dries. Another question I get often about flaxseed gel is, does it become flaky once it dries? Does it leave like a white residue in your hair? And the answer is no. It acts just like your typical leave-in curl cream. For the top section of my hair, I like to divide it in two because I have a bit more hair. And I do want it to be quite defined. Another question I get when using flaxseed gel is, how long do your curls last? Like, how long does the definition last? And for me, it lasts for a good like 3 to 4 days, only if I protect my curls at night when I'm sleeping. And I'm someone who likes to work out. So I do work out, I do sweat, I walk a lot outside, and my hair still remains pretty defined after 3 to 4 days. Obviously, the roots become a little bit more frizzy, that just because I'm sleeping and I don't know, I touch my hair and stuff. But as for the lengths, the curls remain pretty clumped together. For this top section of my hair, I'm actually gonna take the time to define each curl. This also really makes a big difference in terms of how long my curls last. Look at this definition. Oh, so pretty. Look, the curls bounce right up. These are the pieces that frame my face, so I want them to be extra, extra curly. Look at that one. There we go, all done. For the last finishing touch, I'm gonna take a little bit more flaxseed gel in my hands. And this is when I scrunch like it's my job. Putting all the hair to the side. I'm gonna do this for about a minute or so, always being gentle with the curls because I don't want to break them. That's exactly what causes frizz once they dry. One last time on this side. There we go. I'm all done. I'll show you what the back looks like. I always let my curls completely air dry. I don't have any hair styling tools, but I make sure to not sit still, but I'm not gonna go in the wind or go on a run or do something that would possibly break the curls. I'm gonna make sure that they stay nice and clumped together. It's the next day, my hair has completely dried. I'm gonna scrunch it in a little bit with some oil. So you can use any oil. I like using jojoba oil. I put just a little bit in the palm of my hand. And I'm gonna gently scrunch, being careful not to break the curls. This will add a little shine to my hair. There we go. Curls are all done. I'm ready for the week. And if you don't believe that flaxseed gel is legit and it actually works, go check out the numerous videos I've posted this recipe on my Instagram and TikTok and read the comments. Like 90% of them are people who have tried it for their wavy or curly hair and have absolutely loved it and have never gone back to typical curly hair products. Highly recommend you try and make it. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really hope you make flaxseed gel at home now. Like I said, it's completely changed my hair. I'm obsessed with using this. It's the only product I use. It's cheap to make, it's quick to make. Like, there's no excuses not to try this. And don't forget to store it in the fridge, otherwise it will go bad in a few days. I'll see you in the next video.